Hello and welcome to today's speed build. If you're new here, thank you so much for joining us, and if not, then welcome back. So today I am so excited because I am bringing to you yet another collaboration video, and I absolutely love doing collab videos because it's such an amazing way to bring like a community together and to see so many different creative amazing builds that follow such similar themes but are just so unique in their own way. And today I'm super excited because I am taking part in the Whispering Woods collab, which was hosted by the amazing Simspiration. Now, I'm sure you probably know who that is, but if you don't, I will have her socials linked down below. Please check her out. She's absolutely amazing. She's so talented. She's such a lovely person as well. I actually had been a fan of her for a very long time, and I remember when I was kind of, starting to get a bit more confident with YouTube, I remember joining one of her live streams and we ended up talking and yeah, kind of since then I remember she had followed me back on Instagram, and she's just been so supportive ever since, and it's absolutely crazy because I remember watching her and being like, she's such a nice person, I would love to be, friends with her. And yeah, now it's kind of like the reality, which is so lovely. But yeah, please make sure to check out her stuff. Like, she's absolutely incredible. She does a lot of cool things, and she hosted this amazing collab. Now, I will have the creator list at the end of the video, which will show you everyone that took part in this collab, and please make sure to go check out their socials and all of their builds as well, because it's full of talented people. Um, but yeah, the prompt was essentially just about anything that was magical, whimsical, themed. It was pretty broad, which I loved. There wasn't too much restriction on it. And as you can see, I am building in the world of Glimmerbrook, but I end up moving it to Henford on Bagley, and you will see kind of why I did it. It just didn't really flow with this lot. Although this is the magical world, Glimmerbrook's kind of a weird one, and I don't know, I kind of struggle with it sometimes. And I just felt like this build in general worked so much better in Henford on Bagley. There's also a lot more room, it's a lot more open. And as you can see, I'm building like this whimsical. It's kind of like a church slash home. The bottom part can be used as like a church wedding venue, and then the top part is like for a family. So I was kind of going for like whimsical castle that is now being used for. I don't know. I was thinking like a spellcasters family who also have wedding venues down below. But yeah, I I felt like Henford on Bagley worked a lot better for this because with it being a spellcaster family, they're quite whimsical. They don't really want to be seen. They probably would like to be in the middle of nowhere. So I just thought that made more sense. But yeah, of course, you could do with this whatever you like, and if you wanted to move it back here, you probably could. Although I did expand a little bit to it, so it possibly wouldn't fit. But yeah. I had such a fun time building this. Now the little building that I'm working on right now, that ends up being a stables. So if you want to add a horse to this build, please feel free. I feel like that would be so cool. I wish you could have like occult horses. That should be a thing. We should definitely. Okay, I've copyright that idea. Okay, they need to get some occult horses in here. We need to get some like vampire horses, or like like a werewolf horse, like a werehorse. That would be so cool. Oh my god. Okay. Anyway, I'm getting too excited. But yeah, she had essentially for this prompt said that we could have like castles, we could have like covens, we could have anything that we wanted, and I opted for this castle church house vibe. Now, I really do love the inside of this build. I'm so excited to get to the inside and show you guys it. I just love this build so much. I feel like from the outside it maybe doesn't look like too much, but once we get to the inside and you start to see kind of the shenanigans and what's going on in there, hopefully you'll start to like it a little bit more. But as you can see, I'm going for this kind of like crystally vibe. So I was actually in the middle of building something else because it is spooky season, and I was, I was being kind of creative. I had a lot of ideas flowing through me, and I believe because I was in that like autumn spooky vibe. I believe this was when I was doing the Hobbit homes. If you've not seen that video, check it out. I love that build so much. But I made these like Hobbit homes, and I remember bringing out one of the trees, and one of them was this like crystally looking tree. And the way these work is when you bring them out, they turn to like a pile of mud on the floor because they're like not grown yet. So what to do if you want them to look like this and you don't want to wait ages for them to grow, as long as you have your cheats on, so that is testing cheats space true, and then if you click shift and then right click, yeah, right click on, no, left click, wait, I can't remember. I think it's left click. If you click shift and then left click on the tree, it will ask you the growth stage that you want, and then you can change the growth stage to blossoming. I hope that makes sense. I feel like I made that very confusing, but that is how I got these trees. I ended up seeing them when I was doing the Hobbit build, and I was like, these are so cool. I need to use them for something, but they didn't really fit in with like the whole Hobbit theme. So I decided I just wanted to make a dedicated build for them, and that's what I did. And I think they look so cool. So as you can see, I went for a very like light vibe on the outside. I went for the light crystals too. I think these might be diamond crystals that I used, I believe. And then I also used these rocks and I made them white as well. I wanted everything to be very like glacier vibes, white, pearlescent. I don't know. I felt like this just felt so whimsical. Now, it's funny because on the inside of the build, I actually went for darker vibes for the wedding venue, and then as it got closer to the top, I also did darker vibes. And then on the middle floor, I kind of like did a mixture of light and dark, but to me, I felt like it was a really nice contrast, like doing the both, just because, or just because, it kind of gave you like like a, I don't know how to explain it, like a magical vibe. I don't know if that makes sense, but to me it felt magical because it was like, it's not like what you see on the outside, it's different. I also feel like it looks a lot bigger on the inside than it does on the front, which is very like magical. It reminds me of like in Harry Potter, in the fourth one, the Goblet of Fire, when they're in the tents and they go inside them and then they're huge, but the tents are like tiny on the outside. It's like that. I mean, okay, it's not to that extent, but I just feel like it has those vibes. It definitely feels a lot bigger like once you go inside. But yeah, so as you can see, I'm placing a bunch of rocks, which I kind of thought was a little bit tedious to watch, but then I was like, maybe it's a bit satisfying, so I decided to keep it in. So I hope you enjoy this footage. Oh, also, the trees, if you're wanting to use them, I believe they are actually from the Crystal Creation Stuff Pack, which makes a whole lot of sense because they are literally crystal trees, so that makes so much sense. But yeah, if you want to use them, that's where to get them from that pack. I think that they are so incredibly cute, but if you don't have that pack, I still think this build would look really cute, definitely still functional and things like that. I just loved the way it looked. But yeah, I'm excited for us to eventually move to Henford on Bagley for the inside. Not for the inside, sorry, for the more detailing on the outside. I do believe that I start to edit the inside before moving it. It's kind of like all over the place with the order I did things, but please bear with, okay? Sometimes, do you ever just get so distracted and you're like, okay, I want to do the inside, and then you're like, wait, I want to add a little bit to the outside. My brain works kind of like, if I think of something, I need to do it before it leaves my train of thought, you know? I'm back and forth between like different things, but I feel like it's okay. I don't think you'll get too much whiplash with this one, but yeah, I decided to add some stuff to the pond. Now, a part that you didn't see me do was I did add a little pool, and that was just to create this water bit, like, you know, between the two waterfalls. Also, I do believe these waterfalls are from the Island Living pack. I'm not 100% sure if that's right, but I think that's where they're from. And I really loved them. I've never used them before, and I thought they looked so good here. So I hope you like that. And then yeah, I'm just adding a lot of kind of like landscaping. I struggled a little bit because one, it's on a hill, and two, the space is not very big. But once we move lots, I found this so much easier to do. Um, you know how sometimes like you just have like no ideas, and then sometimes ideas just all flood to you at once. That definitely happened with this build, and I was so happy when I finally got those ideas coming in, because I was like, oh, this would look so cool. Now in terms of gameplay and wanting to play with this build, as I said, there is a stable, there is a like church venue, wedding venue. There is a home on the inside which has enough room for, I would say, at most probably 4 Sims. So I would say like 2 older Sims. I was actually thinking for this dynamic grandparents, but we'll get to that. I was thinking 2 older Sims, 1 younger Sim, and then one like infant baby. I thought that would probably work the best. You'll see when we move on, and I'll talk about it a little bit more, but yeah. I was also thinking, I did add like a little portal to this lot, so if you want to play around with that, definitely feel free. There's also a cauldron, so yeah, I was thinking like spellcasters. I thought that would be really, really cool. And yeah, they have a cool horse, which I wish we could make it like a spellcaster or a, you know, werewolf or a vampire, but maybe the Sims team will watch this video and be like, you know what, that's a good idea. I mean, hit me up, Sims, if you want to take that idea. But anyway, we're moving on to the inside now. I believe I do the bottom floor and then go back to the outside and then move on. But when I first started with this, I did go for a very light theme. And then I was looking at it and I was like, you know what? I think this would stand out so much better and just look so much nicer if I went for a darker theme. And I wasn't sure at first. I was like, is this too big of a contrast? But I honestly love how it ends up looking. So you can see that we've got some benches put in. We have, of course, the area where they actually would get married. We have lots of flowers. There ends up being a piano as well. And then just like lots of decor. And I did use the my wedding stories for this because it is the best pack to use. I know that my wedding stories had a lot of glitching. I don't know if that's all, you know, under the rug now and, you know, it's taken care of, or if that's still an ongoing issue. But either way, the stuff in this pack is super cute and I wanted to use it. So hopefully that's okay. We have a staircase leading up. Now this staircase is specifically just for like the family that lives here. So if you're wanting to have people get married in here, the idea I think is that they can't go up the stairs. Now the only issue with that is that there's no door before the staircase. So if you want to ensure that like there's no Sims going to be upstairs, I would maybe add a door and just lock it for anyone but your Sims. But yeah, if it doesn't bother you, you can probably just leave it as it is. But yeah, I just love how this ended up looking. I really hope you guys like it as well. I like, so there was a Discord group for this collaboration, as there normally is in collabs, where people were like sending in all their builds, like their work in progress photos. And I was looking at everyone's and I just felt so like, oh my God, I don't think I went like big enough or crazy enough. Now, when I look at this build now, I am super proud of it. But yeah, I seen so many builds and I was just like, these are insane. Like these people are so talented. And I didn't think of it as a way that was like putting me down at all. I was more just like, wow, like I need to step up. I need to like, I need to get more comfortable with doing certain little tricks and stuff because yeah, I feel like I'm very comfortable in what I do sometimes, like using the same items or using the same packs or sticking to like, you know, this and that. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It really heavily inspired me, and I love that about collabs. You get to see everyone's thought process as well, because it isn't as simple as just throwing together a build. Not for me anyway. I feel like I'm not super vocal in collabs, but I try to be super supportive of like everyone's builds and say how amazing they are. But people will be like, "Oh, I'm really struggling with this," and people are just so nice, and they're like, "Maybe you could do this, maybe you could do that," and I love it. It's so nice. I love collaborations for that reason. I think it also brings together like simmers that maybe haven't like heard of each other before, haven't like seen each other's stuff, and that could potentially start watching each other, start speaking, like becoming friends and stuff. I just love it. I love the whole thing. I think it's so lovely. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna talk a little bit about like the house and the ideas that I had for furnishing this. I'm sorry if you just heard my chair, it's very loud. And then we can get into the family dynamics. So I wanted this to feel very cozy. I wanted it to feel very magical, and I really hope that that comes across well. I think it translates really nicely, and I am obsessed with the interior. So we are starting with the kitchen, and I always love to start with the kitchen. I feel like you can really set the tone with a kitchen, and that's what I like. Now, I went for a kind of green theme in the kitchen area, and then I believe for the living room, I went for like a greeny blue. Now, these curtains that I end up using, absolutely gorgeous. These are actually from the storybook kit, and I am so obsessed with how they look. Like, I'm sorry, but they are literally unreal. I used them in the top bedroom as well. So yeah, you'll get to see that. Now I just thought these worked so nicely, and I also used the tiling in the kitchen from, I believe it's the Riviera kit, which I really like as well. And then I went for this nice stone for the bathroom. Not the bathroom, the kitchen. I do use a stone for the bathroom as well, though, I'm sure. And then through the big white door, that ends up being the like master bedroom. Even though it's smaller than the top bedroom, it's actually for the grandparents of this build, and so that ends up being their room. And they also have a balcony which has a cauldron on it, so they've got everything they need. But anyway, we're moving on to the living room, and I love this room so freaking much. Now, I decided to use the Crystal Creations pack in here for the couches, and I am so glad that I did because I think they look incredible. So I used them in this really nice like teal swatch, which I thought looked beautiful. And I just started putting different things together, and I was obsessed with how it turned out. I feel like sometimes you just need to let your mind go wild and be like, okay, how does this look? How does this look? And just mash a bunch of things together. And I definitely didn't do my routine of just picking out things that I frequently use. I really went through and looked at everything and worked out what I like the best. And I love this so much. I think the green and the blue just contrast so nicely, especially with like the wooden floor. I think it just goes together really well. I really hope it gets the idea of like magic across without being super in your face. I wanted this to feel like spellcasters who kind of try to be normal, you know. I'm thinking the grandparents are very active in their community, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But yeah, so they're kind of well known and you know, foreshadowing, but they are kind of well known and people really like them. They're lovely people. But then again, they don't know the crazy, like magical side to them. Now, I don't know if them being spellcasters is a secret. I couldn't work this out or not. Now, of course, they host a lot of events, they host a lot of weddings and stuff. And so people know that they have this big fancy house and that they have a really nice area for a wedding venue. But I don't know if people just think like, oh, they're a little bit mad, they're a little bit crazy, and they maybe don't realize that they are actually spellcasters. In the world of The Sims, do Sims accept spellcasters? Do they think it's a myth? Do some people believe it and some not? Do they just accept it and they're like, yeah, we believe in spellcasters? I don't know because I think this could go either way. I think this is something that they hide and no one knows about it and they just think that these are like a nice happy family that live in the community that are a little bit crazy, but you know, they do their part. Um or people might be like, okay, they're spellcasters and they're really cool and people not to be, you know, messed with. I don't know. I don't know what I like better. Let me know what you think because I would love to hear that. Sometimes there's little things like that that I just can't work out. And yeah, that's when you guys are so helpful. I know that a lot of people really like hearing the little storytellings and like, you know, my ideas. So I love to talk about them. I always try and like being in as in depth as I can without like really boring you. But yeah, so this is their bedroom anyways. It's really cute. It's got this open door, which I think would probably get a bit cold, but you know, they're magic. They can probably just magic themselves to be warm. I don't know. You know, I don't make the rules. But anyway, I thought that was really fun. I believe the arch that I've used for the patio part is from Realm of Magic. A lot of stuff is. Most things in this room are as well, like the bed, the bedside table, the chest of drawers. All of that is from Realm of Magic. And I did use like most items because how could I not? How could I not? It's the magic pack. I would absolutely love, by the way, for them to bring out another magic pack. I know that we have Realm of Magic, but I feel like we need another world because, of course, I end up moving to Henford on Bagley with this build and I don't stay here. If they made like a really nice big open world that felt whimsical, I think that would be like so perfect. But yeah, anyway, I do end up adding a desk in here as well. I thought that would be really nice. And then I'm trying to think what else. So we've got a desk, a kitchen, a bathroom, a living room, we've got a bedroom, and then we've got a bedroom upstairs, of course, which I'll get into soon and let you guys know about the storytelling. I think that's actually it. So there's not a whole bunch of stuff, but there's enough stuff for your Sims to have activities and such. So I thought that would be okay. But I do want to go and I want to talk to you about the dynamic in here because I think it is so cool. And yeah, I'm just excited to speak about it. So yeah. Also, before I get into it, please, if you are not subscribed, please feel free to subscribe. It's free and it helps me out. Anyways, into the dynamic. Now, as I was saying earlier, I was thinking grandparents. Now, the grandparents are on the middle floor, which I feel like is funny because I feel like you would expect them to be on like the top floor because the top floor is pretty much just like a full bedroom, like this big massive bedroom. But the grandparents do get a balcony and the other person in the other room is stuck with a baby. So keep that in mind. But anyway, so I was thinking that the grandparents, they're on the middle floor and oh, we finally moved lots to Henford on Bagley. But yeah, I was thinking that they're on the second floor and that something, I don't know what, I don't want to get too graphic, but I think something unfortunately quite sad had happened to their granddaughter's parents. And unfortunately, they are now the carers for their granddaughter. Now, I think this happened a very long time ago, so their granddaughter didn't really have a massive relationship with her parents, but I think she was still old enough that she sort of remembers it. So I was thinking she was probably around the age of like 3-ish when it happened. So kind of an age where she can still remember some things, but it's a little bit foggy in her mind. And yeah, for as long as she can sort of remember now, she has just kind of had her grandparents. Now, I don't know if you wanted to create some lore, some story behind sort of what had happened to the parents, because of course, this is in the world of a spellcaster, and this is a magical family, so it could literally be anything. It could be to do with like evil spellcasting, it could be to do with a different occult. They could be wound up in anything, or you could even have that like they're still alive and maybe they're somewhere else and they're not allowed to maybe speak to their daughter anymore. Something like that I think could be really nice as well. But yeah, I'm just thinking they're no longer in the picture for whatever reason out of the decision of their own. They had no say in it. And now the granddaughter, who by the way, I'm thinking she is a teenager now, so I'm thinking around the age of like 16, 17. Yeah, she now is raised by her grandparents, who she loves very, very dearly. Now, if you're wondering, how is there a baby? How is that happening when this has happened? Now, with the baby, it's actually a different story. So I thought it would be kind of cool if the baby was kind of like a. Have you ever seen The Grinch? I was thinking like a Grinch situation where the baby um could be a spellcaster, but I was thinking was maybe something else. Was maybe a vampire or a werewolf or mermaid or anything. And I think that this baby was left on the front step, and the grandparents don't know like who the parents are, but they're never ever gonna just leave a baby sitting on their step. They're never just gonna you know just leave them there. So of course they decided to take the baby in. Clearly the person who had left them here had no choice, and this was like their final kind of like the last thing they could do. And so yeah, they decided to take them in. And it's only a baby, so it's only been like a few months since this happened. And I do think it's a little boy, and it is staying in the daughter's bedroom. So that's on the very top floor. There's like a little crib in there, and I think that, the little baby is just staying there for now while the grandparents kind of figure out what they can do. And if they can like find a little bit more room for them. But yeah, I thought that that would be really cool, like a really nice storyline. Now, I don't think that the parents wanted to give up this baby at all, but they were maybe forced into it. Maybe they're like maybe where they live wasn't safe. I'm thinking like maybe stuff is happening, and it could also be in relation to what was going on with the daughter's parents, because like if her parents were kind of like tied up in something, it could all be related and come full circle, even though like it's like 13, 14 years later. Like I feel like you can make a really cool story out of it. So yeah, I thought that would be really cool to do something like that, but something that you'd maybe want to progress upon. But yeah, I'm thinking maybe like the place wasn't safe, and they wanted them to go into safe hands. And I think that the reason they chose this family is because the grandparents are well known in their kind of like community, their space. I think that they take part in a lot of things, and people really, really respect them, and they also know about the situation. I think the situation with the parents is like infamous and everyone knows about it, Like, I don't know. I might have been heavily inspired by some like Naruto things, because that's what I've been watching at the moment. And I feel like some stuff I was just inspired by like parts of that. But yeah, definitely think there's like more to that, and there's more you can do with it, but you can let me know what you think. I always go a little bit in depth with my um stories. I don't know why, it's just something that I do. But yeah, this is of course the daughter's bedroom. So as you can see, like, it is fit for a teenager. There's lots of stuff. And I also added a cauldron to the second floor for the like grandparents' bedroom. And yeah, there is a crib in here. So I was thinking that's for the little boy. And yeah, it's also following the vibe. I went for this very like purple and black theme up here, which I thought was so cute. And again, I just thought it contrasted so well because the outside is like this really nice, light, elegant, whimsical feel, but the inside is like this more dark, cloudy, whimsical feel. And I just love that. I just love that the outside is not the same as the inside. As I was saying, like, it's giving me those Harry Potter vibes, especially Goblet of Fire. And I love it. And I tried so hard to like fit another Realm of Magic bookshelf in here, but it just wasn't working. So I added some brooms. I've got like the one with all the jewels in it, so that's like the main one, and then there's two that kind of look like cleaning up brushes, so they can kind of get away with those. But we are coming to the end of this video, so I do just want to say a massive thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next one.